Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I have a good video for you today. This is a video of what do you do to keep a low profile while robbing a jewelry store. It's gonna be a good video. Before I get started, check me out on YouTube member programs. Check me out on Discord. Check our new channel, The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. Podcast channel is going great. Check it out on YouTube right there. You're gonna see myself, Benz. You're gonna have a lot of fun there. And please check out our merch, the shirts, the hats, the whole works. It supports us from behind the scenes. Now everybody, we gotta have a good video. This video, like I said, is about what do you do when you're doing a robbery and you wanna keep a low profile? Well, that's the most important thing, a low profile. How do you keep that? Now, right now, I am somewhere where you're gonna have to guess. Let's see if anybody in a video can guess where I am keeping a low profile. How do you know I'm not casing a jewelry store right now? Nobody knows where I am. Well, maybe with the hat, but nobody actually knows. So here's what happens. When I plan a jewelry store robbery, the first thing I do is obviously I have to know an area I am going. Once I am in that area, I don't want to be recognized. Now, once I search the area out and I pick my target, let's just say my target is somewhere in the Fort Myers area. So what I would do then is I would pick out either a state park, a beach, hotels back in those days where you didn't need an ID card. There was many of them. You can go up to the hotel, pay with cash, give them a false name, nobody cared. We want to keep a low profile. We don't want to go to even a hotel that has a bar. You don't want to be seen outside the place. You don't want to be, oh, look at, there were 3 or 4 guys here. They were nice guys. They're at the pool every day. Oh, we're on the beach. There's these 3 guys that were real nice, or 4 guys, and they talked to everybody, and they were really nice people. You did not want that. That is taboo. Our goal is to leave an area and the cops not have a clue. And the cops have their snitches. And they're gonna put those snitches on the streets and find out, hey, did you see any 3 guys hanging around bars? Did you see any 3 guys at clubs? Did you see any 3 guys on the beach that looked out of place? That maybe they were in a family area and they didn't have kids. One of my robberies up in Sarasota, Florida, right here on the west coast of Florida, I stayed at a place called Myakka State Park. It's a mega park. Matter of fact, that girl who just got killed in Colorado, and they found her body, the guy's body who did it, they found him in Myakka State Park because it's such a desolate area. That's what you want to do. You want to be in an area that nobody's going to know. So what we did was, beforehand, and not in this area, mind you, I said not in this area, we bought a tent, we bought a hibachi grill, we bought a sleeping bag, so everything you can think of for camping. Because that was the place we were gonna be when we knew we were gonna be in an area that had a lot of parks or something. We want to keep a low profile. Why do you do that? Well, sometimes I'm gonna be in an area for 2 to 3 weeks. You think I want to be known in an area that, hey, these guys are drinking every day? No. I have to go, but you still gotta function. You still gotta eat. You still gotta drink. You still gotta keep my guys social. I mean, I can keep them in a room and they're gonna be like fucking 3 tigers trying to get out of a cage. Once they get out, they might make a mistake. They might talk to somebody. So what do? I make it as social as I can, as secluded as I can. Take where I am right now. I am on a beach in Fort Myers, and I'm at a place called the Red Coconut. Now, this is an RV park, very, very low key. Nobody knows where it is. It's right on the beach. You could be in a cheap RV here, and I mean like a pull-along one or something like that, or a nice one, it doesn't matter, and you're not gonna stand out. Now, would 3 guys or 4 guys come in here every day standing out? Absolutely. So what do you do to stop that? Maybe you bring somebody, you bring a girl, you bring a couple of girls, and you don't talk to people either. You don't have to be standoffish, but you don't want to be noticeable. Obviously myself with a New York accent is pretty noticeable. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to be out here talking to people and they go, oh yeah, you mean that guy, bald head, Sounded like a Brooklyn guy? No, that is not what I want, ladies and gentlemen. Totally not what I want. What I want to do is be that guy who is inconspicuous, keeps it going, who's normal, who does normal things. Now, what I mean by normal things, I don't want to sit in the RV and they're going to go, this guy's a recluse, and the one time they see you, they're going to remember you. They're going to go, what's going on in that place? Didn't want that either. So what I wanted to do is just blend in. It's like the cars I took on the robberies. If you haven't seen a great piece, you can go to Road and Track magazine and you're going to see me in a featured article about a getaway car. And the number one thing with a getaway car, it is not speed, it's inconspicuous. A white Toyota Corolla, 4-door. In today's world, it would be maybe a minivan or a little SUV. In my time, it would be a 4-door, inexpensive car, non-bright color, basic blue, off color, white, maybe a dark or something like that. It's going to be a Toyota Corolla or something of that make or model. It is not going to be a nice car. It's not going to be a Del Monte. It's not going to be an Audi or something of that nature. It's going to be inconspicuous. Well, when you go into what I'm doing now, explaining, is I'm trying to make myself inconspicuous. It's hard to do as a 240-pound man. Well, I'm losing weight. 237-pound man or something like that. It's hard to make myself look inconspicuous, especially someone myself with the social skills I have. Social skills meaning I like to talk to people. Oh, I know my neighbors already in this camping ground. Of course, I'm not on a case job, or am I? Am I really casing a jewelry store? Because I'll tell you what, Fort Myers, Naples, Primo area. I'm only joking, of course. I am not casing anything. I am here to show you where to go to case a store. And as you can see behind me, you could stand right on the beach. In fact, this park I am at is one of the only places in the country that you can roll your RV's wheels on the beach, they call it. So the front window of my RV, I'm looking out over the Gulf of Mexico. So the view is spectacular when you either get up or you go to sleep. Obviously, I'm on the west coast of Florida, and we all know the sun rises in the east and falls in the west. That's where you get the great sunsets here. So now, what do I do with three guys who are antsy and they want to get this job done? First of all, let me explain why having no women is a help. Women, don't get mad at me. But when you are going in a place like jewelry store robberies or something of this nature, when you get 4 guys in a room, it is so much easier to deal with things. They put on ESPN and they watch that. And that's it. They'll put a sports game on. Nobody gives a shit if they're from that area who's playing. You get women involved, there's a whole repertoire of shit that goes on. Who wants to watch what TV, who fights, whose girlfriend is it, piss you off, who uses the bathroom longer, everything else that goes along with that. Well, we don't worry about that. Men are a whole lot easier to deal with when robbing a jewelry store. Don't get me wrong. If I had to bring a woman, I would. I never did, but if I had to, I would totally bring a woman along, because that's what I had to do. I had to make sure that the job I do has the manpower I need. What's the manpower? I need a driver. I could double for the driver, or my brother could double for the driver. Jimmy, anybody could double for the driver, but that driver had to know his stuff, had to have a clean record and everything of that nature for the driving and the renting of the vehicle and stuff of that nature. Second, I need guys who have, what do I call this, balls of steel. They're not going to get scared. They're not going to turn around and run when they can't run or they shouldn't run. You need guys who can listen to orders, because there's one boss on these robberies. That's me. Period. One boss. When I say something, it has to happen just the way I say it, and you have to do it just the way I say it. Don't question me why. It's almost like a military operation. Has to be done like that. Gotta remember that. Then you need guys who can think on their feet alone. What do I mean by that? Well, things happen. Things change. We need to have people who are understanding that I could look at them and they're gonna know to not do something, do something. Hey, I can give a point of the eyes to the guy and he knows to check him. Because we already, what did we do? We already took that guy and we put him in cuffs and we did that. So that's very important what we're doing. You need thinkers on their feet. So independent thinkers who also could take orders and follow orders. You need a guy who's got balls of steel. Trust me, it's a lot harder to go into one of these jewelry stores with a firearm knowing that you're committing armed robbery and you have to take people down. And when you take them down, you're putting flex cuffs on them or handcuffs on them, and you got to be forceful. You got to be enough positive that what's going on is this is what's going on. I'm in control. Get down, motherfucker. And you got to jump that counter. You got to have that way with you that can control a room, if you want to call it that. That's very important. You also have to have the brains to calm that down and not anybody panic and shoot somebody. Come on. We're not there for a murder beef. We didn't want to shoot people. We didn't want to hurt people. We never did. We were people who did professional jewelry store robberies. That's what I was, a professional. I know you're going to say, what do you mean, like, you're just a thug? Well, you better be a professional thug if you're going to be a thug. You can't be a person who just, oh, this is just going to do this to make a few bucks. You'll be caught so quick your head will spin, and you don't want that. So, to go over, what do I need? Who are my people? To lay low. Do you know what I'm talking about? To lay low, I need a place that's inconspicuous. I need a place where I can blend in. It's either going to be a campground. They're really good. You don't see many people often. You don't talk to many people. You want to go on hike trails. You can do things. You can go fishing alone. Nobody will know what you are. You make sure the people you're with know not to communicate. You don't want to go to a bar or a hotel or somewhere, and I used a lot of hotels, and go down to the pool bar or the bar in the hotel and start, yakking to a guy, drinking. Not because you're going to tell him anything, but he's going to recognize you, maybe with a description. He's going to say, oh, I talked to that guy. They say, hey, do you know anybody? And the news comes out. Possible New York accents or possible New York people. 5'10", 240 pounds, bald head, and goatee. Do you want the guy who's sitting next to you to say, hey, I was talking to that guy. He was a great guy. He told me his name was Larry. Or, oh, great guy. Yeah, they came from Brooklyn. They're going to see their aunt. Oh, but I didn't see their aunt. Who are they with? Well, there was another guy, a skinny guy. And he called him Jimmy. And another guy, his brother came down to say hello. His name is David. All of a sudden, they got three names from me being stupid. From me talking to someone at a bar when I don't belong to be. And it's the hardest thing in the world, laying low, and as the excitement builds, too. You know what happens, everybody, is you're starting to think like, wait a minute, I might be a millionaire. I might be getting, your cut might be $100,000 of a robbery. And you're saying, wow, what am I going to do with my money? You start daydreaming. You don't realize you don't want to order pizza. You don't want to order food to your room, period. I used to think, go get food somewhere with pizzas or Chinese or Heroes and bring them in. And I'm one guy. Nobody saw these other guys. So if they gave a description of somebody else, I didn't give a shit. That's number one. You never worried about being too non-conspicuous, if you want to call it that. It's very easy now because people recognize me, but if they didn't recognize me, they would remember the fact, oh, there's two guys in an RV from New York. In fact, one of the people when we pulled in here was setting up, and they said, look at those two guys. Something's up with those two guys. They're not normal guys. They didn't see who I'm with as well, my daughter. They didn't see her, but they saw these two guys, obvious. I guess we look a little bit like gangsters, I guess. I guess what I'm told. I don't see it, but they see it. And that's not good. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be two guys sitting out front of an RV smoking a cigar. Wouldn't do that. I might come here, go for a swim. One guy, don't go together at all times. You don't want them to see you together. Two New York guys with accents and everything else. You don't want that. Not using any kind of plastic, any kind of credit, anything with your own name. Never. It was always cash. Also, when I left a hotel, which I used many times, yes, we used camping sites. Yes, we used beach sites to go and do things. And we'd separate off, and one would walk the beach. Another guy would be smoking a cigarette somewhere else. Not together. Remember another thing. You don't want to be together with your friends at that point. Your accomplices. You know why? You've been with them together all the time. You're in a hotel room with them. You're talking to them. You know everything about them. Damn it, you know, you want to get away. You want to get your own alone time, I call it. So when you want to get that alone time in, you go out. Don't hump-fuck your friend. Don't be up his hump all the time. Spread out. Take some room. It's number 2. Never use a plastic, number 2. 3, totally. Try not to talk as much as you can because everybody has an accent. I don't care where you're from. Everybody has an accent. I used to think I didn't have an accent. I know you guys are saying, Larry, you sound like a New Yorker. People actually ask me, are you from Brooklyn? Not New York. They ask me if I'm Brooklyn because I have that New York, Brooklyn accent. That attitude, the way you stand. You kick girls or people from Fort Lauderdale. They have a way to stand. That comes out of you. That comes out of your pores and you don't even know it. So you can't do that. You don't want to be in a car or anything that's stand-outable. You don't want to go case this place with all 3 of you in the car and you roll by and you're all looking at the jewelry store. You'll be surprised who will catch you. It could be a car behind you or a car just looking at people saying, what are these people looking at? And they keep looking and then they're looking where you're looking and guess what happens? It's a fucking jewelry store. Guess what happens? 3 days later, that jewelry store is robbed. You think they're not going to remember that? Trust me, they're going to remember that. Don't ever think they won't. Okay, so very important. Stay inconspicuous. Don't talk. Don't use any kind of plastic. That's the worst thing you can do. The minute you start using any kind of, we used to call them record keepers. Once you start using credit cards or any kind of paper, you're leaving a paper trail. There's no way that I wanted to leave a paper trail. When I left an area, the first thing we did in that hotel, we would dust it down. Totally dust it down. And I mean there wouldn't be a fingerprint in that whole place. We'd clean that room like as if we were the cleaning staff. It would be spotless. We would make the beds, do the stuff, everything you're supposed to do in a hotel room. So those are the little things that you as a person have to understand I did. Now, am I doing that to get accolades? No. Am I doing that to teach someone how to do that? No. I'm trying to tell you how it went exactly. This is what we did. Like you get up every day and you go to work as a mechanic. Or you're a software engineer for Harris. You get up, you go to work, you're on your project. You go for another company, logistic company or anything, and what are you doing? What are you doing? You go into work, you turn on your computer, you know what to look for, the files, everything else. Why? Because you're experienced. Well, we're no different. We were experienced at robbing a jewelry, so what happens? When we rob a jewelry store, we're leaving telltale signs. What I mean by that is, if I left that room and didn't do a thing about it, anybody who went in that room or a maid watched the news that morning and they saw a robbery, because they were big robberies, and they saw some, hey, 4 men in the area, traveling criminals, they were just in here, and this is what they look like. That maid might come here and look at it. And that is dangerous. Because once the fucking police or the FBI, forget the police couldn't fucking find their nose from their fucking ass. As far as the FBI, listen to me, I'm not going to undercut. I don't undercut any cops, to be honest. But most cops don't have the budget or the money to actually continue to follow me. The FBI, they'll send a jet from Fort Lauderdale to California to pick up a witness or pick up something that they think's gonna happen. That's where they are. They got the money, they got the resources, and you better have more brains than them. And they are very smart people. So I hope everybody here is understanding what doing a robbery is about, how to stay low during the robbery, how to keep a low profile. And you're thinking, wow, just to rob a jewelry store? Well, when you're a professional, you don't just think, oh, just to rob a jewelry store. Because when you get caught, the judge don't say, oh, he just was a jewelry robber, give him a few years. No, they slapped me with 4 12-year sentences, and I was facing life. So for 1 minute, don't think what I'm talking to you is important. It is. With that said, everybody, please make good choices. Don't do stupid things like I did. Check out all our stuff. I got my cigar launch coming right here, September 1st. Think about that. Cigar launch, September 1st. Very important day. You'll hear all about that. Again, please check us out. If you have not, hit the notification button right there. Hit that. Please hit the subscribe button. Pass this video around, share it, and tell your friends about us. But more importantly, everybody, please make good choices. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.